We often hear about detachment as a spiritual practice, as a goal of practicing spirituality and personal development. While there is some truth in it, and at least what I feel is that at the end of the day, we would become more and more detached over many things in life. There is something that I often find that is missing in the spiritual teachings, in personal development. Because what I feel is that we are often trying to bypass the journey itself, the learning itself. Because what we are often trying to say as motivationals are, oh, you have to be detached, you have to let go, you have to, release, and etc., etc. However, what I find that actually happens is when we are ready to release, is after we are actually integrating the things that we go through and then learn about it. So after we fully experience a certain situation, for example, a relationship, the breakup process, etc., only then we can actually let go. So this is not something that we should jump right away. And we are also not really able to do so because there is an entire thing for us to experience and learn before we can do so. For example, one of the things that we often hear about is that, you don't need validation from other people, etc., etc. But wow, this can be achieved through maturity, that we gain a level of confidence in not seeking so much validation from other people anymore. We are often, this is what I feel, we are often bypassing the human nature itself. And you see, why are humans in need of validation from each other? It is because subconsciously and throughout our evolution as human species, we learn to be together, to stick together, because that will help us survive. And because, a human by himself or herself out in the cold, he cannot survive. Like we, having a house, having the clothes that we are wearing, having the internet, the food, etc., takes a tribe, a society to provide for all these things. It takes us working together to actually build these things so that we have a safe shelter, so that we have all our basic needs met. Now, when we are saying that, we shouldn't seek validation from others, we are bypassing the fundamental nature that actually comes from our evolution to keep us safe. Because, you see, if people start to not care about each other's opinion, feelings, etc., what happens? Then we cannot really work towards harmony and peace in the society. Like if I don't care what my neighbor really thinks, feels, and their condition in life, then I would just leave them to fend for themselves. And if we don't stick together, how are we working on having internet, clothes, things, shelter, like the things we put at our homes, etc., etc. Like I'm not hunting for my own food, right? I'm not making my own clothes. I'm not having my own internet system. So it is a very important component that we do need to have a healthy sense of, needing validation from others, which means that we actually are trying to understand if we are actually in harmony with each other in terms of values, of what we say, how we talk about things, and our actions within a society, a tribe. So, with this said, how we actually achieve more and more confidence to not be so bothered with validation with others, for example, is that the more we grow up and learn and understand how this world works, because, we all begin to learn that we cannot satisfy everyone. And what's more important is that within our tribe, within the people we love, that we are in harmony and we can harmonize things when there is a conflict. So there's no really the importance to, for example, me worrying about someone commenting negatively to just to troll me, for example, on the social media, right? Because I'll soon learn that this doesn't really matter for my survival, for my day-to-day life. So when we begin to learn, when we begin to have more and more emotional maturity, then we begin to have this confidence that is developed, not because we are bypassing, I am, for example, avoiding people besides my loved one. I'm avoiding social media, avoiding everything. No, but because I put myself out there, and then by gradual exposure and then experience in this situation, I learn that, okay, after all, I don't need to stress about it. And that is how I detach. Same with relationships. Like, many people have the experience of having been in relationships. They have a hard time to get out of it, even if they know that it's no longer healthy, it's no longer sustainable. And because often there is love between two people, right? But then we sometimes take time to learn the importance of walking away in certain situations. So we cannot simply go and tell people, for example, you just need to wake up, you just need to detach, right? It's through the entire experience and how we learn how to navigate it. It's like learning how to ride a bike, right? When we learn how to navigate it, then eventually we have this embodiment of real understanding of why we have to detach from this situation. And then detachment happens gradually and naturally. So we often, in the spirituality and then personal development, hear about, you need to detach yourself. But all this is actually a journey. More often than not, it is a journey. And we have to honor the whole journey, the whole experience. And it's not easy. We all want to just jump out of the discomfort of being too attached to certain things and then be at peace with ourselves, with our minds, with our hearts, right? But it often takes a process. And when we try to bypass it, it's actually worse, because when we try to repress things and just push them down and down, what happens is then we lose awareness that this thing still exists within us. But then, whatever it is unconscious, it will still find a way to come out. It just manifests in ways that now we are not conscious and aware about it. So now it might manifest in ways that are sabotaging my relationships, my life, but I don't even realize it because I was disconnecting from it. I was repressing it and then I disconnected from it. Then I don't know what happens anymore. There is this quote, I think it was Carl Jung, that is what you don't make it conscious, you call it fate or something like that. Yeah, you might want to look up that popular quote. And that is so true. So for real detachment, you need to really allow yourself to sit with the feelings of it. For example, if you are going through a breakup, then sit with the grief that you're feeling. Sit with the sadness that you're feeling. Sit with all this, even the longing, even when you are longing for the other person and you want so much right now for him or her to be with you right now, sit with all these feelings and allow yourself the time to cry it out, to express it, punch a pillow even, and write, journal, so that you find outlets to let it express. And then I can tell you that when you let the fire burn without actually adding more oil to it, which is, okay, you might feel all this sadness, all this upset, etc. But also don't feed your mind. Just be there. Imagine that you're your own best friend and sadness or anger is here sitting next to you. And they say, I really hate this situation. I'm really sad. I will this and that. I resent all this. And instead of you going to feed it like, oh yeah, like this person is really mean and etc. No, you just sit, yeah, I can understand how you feel and etc. It felt hard and etc. No, just be there with your feelings without also add oil. And I can assure you that more often than not, the fire that keeps burning eventually doesn't have any more material to burn, and then it will slowly extinguish. And when you can finally let it extinguish by itself, because the expression of it was acknowledged fully and fully embraced and fully having your presence and acknowledged and honoring, then this will gradually be detached and healed. So, my name is Monica, and welcome to my channel. And in this channel, I talk a lot about personal development, relationships, spirituality, manifestation, all the topics that I'm really passionate about, and I can talk for hours about it. So, if you like this content, feel free to like, share, and subscribe, and see you next time. Bye.